All right, how to use a compass. First off, you want to use a ruler. Make sure you know the length and the width of your paper. So average piece of paper, which I'm going to use for this, is 11 inches by 8.5 inches. Okay, and you want to be able to fit your circle on your paper with a little bit of border. So if it's 8.5 inches and I want a little tiny bit of border so I'm not going off the edge, then I'm going to have the diameter of my circle 4 inches. So I'm going to take my compass and loosen it by using this thing. Loosen the compass so you can actually move it. And you want to move it so that you have each of the points go to the 0 and to the 4. Okay, you do not want it bigger. You can have it a little bit smaller, but I want your circle to be about the size of the paper. We don't want to waste any space. So once you have it 4 inches, there you go, 4 inches. There's the 4. I'm going to tighten it up. Okay. And now the compass is ready to go. I want to find the center of the paper, so my circle is even. So I'm going to make a little mark at 4 1/4, because that's half of the paper on one side. So I'll make a mark there. And then half of 11 is 5.5. Oh, look at that, it's perfect. It's 5.5 exactly. So I'll make a mark there. And that is the center, dead center of my paper, right there. You would do the same thing on the good paper. I think the good paper, at least the good paint paper, is 11 inches by 15 inches, so you'd have to split that up and find the center. Some of you never thought that there would be math in art, but there is. All right, so I'm going to take that point, not the pencil, but the point part, put it on that dot, and I'm going to very carefully put it down, double check and make sure I got space on both sides. So I'm going to start making my circle, and everything I do is going to be a little bit darker than I normally would on my paper. Remember to press lightly when you draw, okay? Actually, this is pretty light. This is good. But hopefully you can see that circle right here, all right? Next, I'm going to make my marks using my protractor, okay? With these protractors that I give you, we have crosshairs, all right? I'm going to make sure that my dot, my dot is in that crosshairs. It's in that center circle right there. So I have the dot lined up. And this is the easiest way to use the protractor for our purposes. I've already marked the red dots to show 30 degrees, okay? The reason why it's 30 degrees for each piece is because 30 times 12 is 360, and a full circle is 360. And we want to be able to fit all 12 pieces in here. So we got the spot, we're going to mark the 0, and at 30, and 30 plus 30 is 60, plus 30 is 90, plus 30 is 120, plus 30 is 150, and plus 30 is 180. So I got half of it already done. I'm going to turn it around and do the same thing on this side. Put that dot in the crosshairs. I want to make sure that this dot lines up to this side and this dot lines up to this side. Make sure everything lines up. It does. And then I'm going to start making my marks. So we got the 30, the 60, the 90, the 120, the 150, and we already have the 180 marked. So now it's like a clock. I got dots all over the place. You're going to take your ruler. Now I'm going to take my ruler, and this part is art. This is something that I learned with lots of mistakes. So I'm going to teach you something so you don't have to make these same mistakes. I'm going to put my pencil on the dot because certain pencils have certain thicknesses. If your pencil is dull, then it's going to be kind of outside of the line. of the ruler. And if it's really sharp, it might even go underneath the ruler. You never know. So you put the pencil down where you want your mark to be, and then you bring your ruler to that pencil while it's there. And line up your lines. The reason why I do this is because if I put my ruler down and I put it exactly on these lines, notice how these, I don't know if you can see this, but the lines are slightly, the dot is slightly out from the ruler. But now, since I put that pencil down, I know it's going to go through that dot. And there we go. And I'm making this dark so you can see it. So I make sure my pencil line goes through the dot here, and the dot in the center. I'm going to do that for all the marks. So I'm going to put my pencil down, bring my ruler to it, make sure it's in the exact spot I want it, and then I draw my line. Pencil down, ruler to the pencil. Lost my dots. With the pencil and draw the line. Pencil down, ruler to the pencil, draw the lines. And remember, make your lines very light. I'm making this dark so you can see the video in the video. If you end up having dark pencil lines, I'm going to be slightly upset because you need to learn how to press lightly. Okay, so that is a color wheel, a basic color wheel. And remember, you need tints and shades. Remember tints, let's take this pen for example. A tint is a lighter color, and then the regular color is the regular hue. And then the shade would be something darker, which I can't find. I can only see two different colors. Maybe the way the light hits it, this would look a little darker right here where the pen is. So shades are darker, tints are lighter. So if I were to, let's say, put my tints and shades here, one way you can do this, now remember this is the 4 inches, maybe I'm going to put it to 2 inches if I'm going to have half and half. So maybe I want to have this at 2. 1, 2. I've got to bring it in a little bit more. Tighten it up. Double check it at 2 inches. Yeah, that's good. And let's say I want the 2 inches, and let's say I'm going to have a shade on the inside. Maybe I'm going to make all these slight darker color on the inside, and this is going to be the regular color. And maybe on the outside, I'll do the tint, the lightest part. So maybe I'll go here. And maybe this is going to be the lightest part. So tint, true hue, and I might make this the shade. Remember, I would add black to this, and I'd add white to this, or I'd add the opposite color to this color. So if this is red, I might add a slight bit of green here to make the shade, or I might add a little bit of black. You have to be the judge, but whatever you do it on all of them. If you use black to make the darker shade, add black to all of them. If you use the opposite color to make the shade, do it on all of them. Okay. Finally, remember, if you use black on your design, so my example in, I think it was period 4, one kid wanted to do a yin-yang. Okay, so I said, okay, don't do all black, maybe change it, and I would measure this out. I wouldn't just draw circles like this. But let's say maybe this would be the shades all here. Anything that was black, maybe a darker shade, and these would be the true hues. Okay, or this would be the true hues, right? So that's one way to change some design, but it has to be the main color wheel. Let's say if I wanted to just paint these lines black, you want to do that after you paint your color wheel. Okay. Now, yeah, that's it. I'll end it there for now.